Hi and welcome. This is a brief introduction to Firewall Creator, a program entirely developed with Visual Studio 2010 that allows to create, edit and share Linux firewalls on a Windows platform. So this is the main interface. First thing I'm going to do is to create a new firewall. Here, just a few fields like the name, some comments if you like, date, follow the interface, which usually is the external interface, and a template. We're going to talk about templates later. Right now, we just choose the recommended one. So here we go. This is a tree view. This is the data grid view, and here we got three different views, and we're going to talk about that later. So this is the hierarchy view of the firewall. Remember that the firewall uses XML, so each rule is actually a single node of an XML file. You can move rules, edit, remove rules from here and from here too. For example, let's say you want to modify a comment, this one, you don't like this either rules here, you want to call it, I don't know. Here we go. Here you can modify those rules field by field, attribute by attribute. So now we're going to add a new rule. As you can see here, we got plenty of kind of rules, services, net, modules, behaviors, and net, of course, we got source net and destination net. But right now we're going to just add a simple rule. Let's say, for example, we want to accept everything that come from the input child. If you don't know what those fields mean, you can always press F1 or click here and see the help file. So here, our new rule. You can always edit this rule by pressing right click and then edit or double click the rule or through the data grid view here. Now we're just going to click here. And if you don't like this set policy, well, we're going to drop this. Let's add some other rules. For example, you might want to add your own rule. Or, for example, even Linux commands or whatever. Just write down here. You can write Linux commands or directly iptables rules. This is a very useful function. Then we're going to talk about modules and behaviors. Behaviors are more like environment variables. You can, for example, you want to enable EP forward with just one click. So let's say we want to enable this. So we want to set 1 on this variable and use this in this firewall and press add. Or for example, we want to disable ping. So we want 0 here, and here we go. So usually those commands make more sense on top of the firewall. So perhaps you're gonna move this up here, and that too. By pressing Ctrl instead, you will swap rules instead of move them up and down. Another thing we're going to talk about are variables. So let's say, for example, that we got 100 of PCs of on your network, and you want to add the service rule, a net rule, or whatever for all those 100 PCs. Well, that will require 100 services rules written by yourself. Well, not in that case. Let's see how. First, we create a single variable for each host. So host 1, then host 2, host 3, and so on. So now if you want to add one only rule for all those hosts down here, you should write 2 rules. But what if we create a variable that includes all the hosts down here? is enough. All hosts in host type which has multiple values. By pressing the dollar button, we can recall all the variables. So we're going to add host 1 and host 2. Add this variable to our firewall. And now we can add a service rule. For example, we might want to accept everything that comes from for all hosts. So just press dollar buttons, select all hosts, and let's take a look. As you can see down here, 2 rules, one for host 1 and the second one for host 2. With just one click, 2 rules. Of course, you might want to edit those hosts later. So say you want to edit this, you want to rename this label as host hello. Well, no problem. The program automatically updates each role that contains this variable. You can see that here and here. So now that we have our own firewall with hundreds of rules and whatever, now of course we want to install this on a Linux machine, on a Linux distribution. You can do that in 2 ways. First one requires a direct connection with the remote host. With remote installation, after you set up your network connection, you can just click here, select your firewall, choose options, then install. But if you don't have a remote connection with the host, which is the more usual case, you can just click setup and create a Linux shell script, which is just a text file actually, you know. And then after you've created this, go on your machine, now we're going to open the Ubuntu distribution, but I could have chosen a Debian distribution, it does not matter. Move your file here and then just double click, write password if required. Usually it's required for IP tables rules, and here we go. Your firewall has just been installed with just a double click. Remember that you need to be an administrator, of course, if you're using Ubuntu, Debian, or whatever. So, last thing I want to talk about are templates. We said before, program supports templates. So as you can see here, we got 2 different templates, but you can add your own template. Just create a firewall and rename it like a template. You can import new templates and share them with your friends or whatever, so you can use your firewall for a lot of different applications, you know. Of course, as we said before, the program is entirely based on XML file. So let's say, for example, that Debian releases a new version on IP tables, and on that new version there's a new protocol or perhaps a new log options. Now you don't have this new log option here, but you can add it. Just go on Preferences, XML files, logs, and here you can add a new log option or a new chain or uniter, whatever. For example, Debian added a new log option which is called, I don't know. Well, here we go. So next time you will add a new rule, you will find this new option right here. That's really useful because it works for each field in each row. So new table comes out, no problem. It works for chains, policies, protocols, ports, of course, marks, really whatever. And of course it works for behaviors and models, because remember that the program itself already includes a lot of behaviors and models, but you can add them yourself. There's no problem in that. So this was a general introduction to Firewall Creator. There are going to be more functionality included in the future releases, like log file, printing, and whatever. Stay tuned on Workteam. And thanks everyone for watching this.